Welcome back to the Hess Project. I'm John Ortolaza, and I got a brand new movie review for you guys. Coming to America has hit Prime Video today, so let's talk about it. Now, again, the first thing I ever saw of Coming to America was the trailer for Coming to America, and it put me off just a little bit because it threw in all of those characters that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall play, all the extra characters that aren't, Akeem and Simi. After watching the first movie, I realized that the barbershop characters and all the other little characters that they play were used sparingly and to great effect. They were used for some of the best funny scenes in that movie. This movie, though, just has no right to be as good as the original, but for some reason, I think it is. I think they're on par with each other. They have just the same amount of heart, and a good message is put in both of them. And here, though, we see Akeem has 3 daughters, and one of them has been training to become his heir because he has no son. Until Akeem's father tells him that, "You have a son." He's got in America when he went to Queens in the first movie, and he's got to go bring him in because his father is very traditional. He wants the tradition to stay as it's always been, a male heir, not a daughter or a female heir, none of that. You need a male heir. And it just so happens that you have a male heir from a hookup that we never mentioned in the first movie. I knew after watching the first movie and then going back to seeing the trailer for this one, I knew they were going to interject something weird, because there's literally no connection. There was no other person that we saw in the first movie Akeem hooking up with. But it turns out he did off screen, and it looked like they were using some de-aging effect for Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy for this particular retcon of the first movie. But it's fine. The de-aging, I thought they did really well. At least I think that's what they did. They had to have done it because Eddie Murphy does not look like that anymore. Eddie Murphy looks like Eddie Murphy's dad. It's simple as that. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are new additions to this film. For instance, Leslie Jones and Tracy Morgan. These are 2 actors that I haven't seen much of. I've seen the most of their stuff on Saturday Night Live, and I saw Leslie Jones' Ghostbusters, which I don't like that movie at all. But from what I've seen from these 2, they can be quite annoying and they can get on my nerves very quickly when they're on screen spewing their nonsense. Because, I don't know, I find them annoying. But just the way that this movie utilized both of them and kind of stripped away some of their tropes and used them sparingly, just like the other side characters that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall play, I thought, they were bearable in this movie. They were used effectively. I thought the actor they got to play Akeem's son in this movie did a really good job. He did a really good job showing, struggle, wanting this cool life of a king or a prince, but he just wasn't fitting in. It was the wrong Lego piece in the wrong set. It wasn't fitting. The biggest thing I loved about this movie was seeing Akeem becoming attached to his father's ways. That struggle of carrying on tradition and pleasing your dead father. It was really cool to see a childlike Akeem from the first movie grow and change and mold himself into an adult, someone with authority in this movie. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Eddie Murphy wanted from Akeem in this film. And that's probably the biggest thing that brought him back to do this movie in the first place. I thought this was just a little funny. I'm not nitpicking, but there were certain things in this movie where you're like, somebody working on this saw Black Panther was like, hey, I bet we could do that. So, all in all, I thought this was a really great movie. Just as good as the original, in my opinion. Maybe you might not feel the same way, but in my opinion, I feel like every character aged in their own way, and even the new characters, they weren't a burden and they weren't terribly written. I thought everything about this movie was fairly decent, and I think you should check it out. If you're especially a fan of the original Coming to America, it's not so bad. Let me know down below, what did you think of Coming to America? Have you seen it? If you want to check it out, it's on Prime Video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and be sure to stick around, guys, because I got a review for WandaVision. I think it's a spoiler-free first, and then I got the spoiler-filled review coming soon. And I also am reviewing Zack Snyder's directed films leading up to Zack Snyder's Justice League coming to HBO Max on March 18th. So you might want to stick around, guys, because there's always more to come.